What's going on? It's Dman. It's about that time of the year. I want to bust out some predictions for the Eastern Conference NBA playoffs. Now, you're looking at a bracket right now, and I'm going to give out my predictions. And just like every year, I just want to put out my emphasis on the word predictions, because these are my opinions, my thoughts. You don't have to agree, but if you do, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool also. Leave down in the comments why you don't agree, and let me know your thoughts. I love to read basketball talk. I just love basketball. I love to talk about it. I love to watch it. So anyways, let me dive right into this. I don't want this to drag out too long. Miami versus Milwaukee. I don't even have to explain this. I have Miami going on. Brooklyn versus Chicago. This is one of those series where I don't want to count out either team. Chicago don't have Derrick Rose, but either way, they played pretty good this year. I thought they were going to do bad, but like I said, they held their own. You know, they played great defense. I love the defense of the Bulls. And I also love how they're able to get rebounds and the energy. And Nate Robinson stepped up. Jimmy Jam stepped up. He came out of nowhere. I like the Bulls, man. But Brooklyn, they have D-Will, Joe Johnson, he still doesn't earn his contract because he has a ridiculous contract. But he's still playing better than he did in Atlanta. And they have some pretty decent big men too. And some good offensive power. So I'm going to actually pick Brooklyn. But I'm not going to count out Chicago, man. I like Chicago also. And also, I would want to see how Miami would deal with Chicago, because Chicago always get under Miami's skin because their defense. Miami's not used to people being rough with them, matching them on the energy side. So that'd be interesting too. But for now, I'm going to just pick Brooklyn. And like I said, I'm not counting out Chicago though. Moving on to Indiana versus Atlanta. I have Indiana moving on. Atlanta in the playoffs, they just seem to show up to the playoffs. They don't really do anything. It's every year they don't do anything. They always seem to be at the 6th seed also. I like Indiana's team, man. Even without Danny Granger for this matchup, I like Indiana's team. New York versus Boston. Now, I think this is Melo's year to get out the first round. I definitely have New York moving on. They have some great offensive power. I want to give credit to Boston, though, because they actually did okay without Rondo. They didn't do great, but, you know, I thought they were going to completely die off without Rondo, but they actually increased their ball moving around, and I was just liking what I was seeing. But they're old injuries and all that mess, so I might have New York moving on versus Indiana in the conference semifinals. So moving on, Miami, Brooklyn. I have Miami, man. Sorry, but Miami is just that team. LeBron is that dude. You know, I respect the game of basketball. I'm not the hugest LeBron James fan, but if you respect the game of basketball, you have to respect LeBron James' game. Same with Kobe. No, I just love their game. And Chris Bosh, everybody's calling him a third wheel, but yo, he puts in work, in my opinion. I mean, I know he has his moments where he's out of control, out of line, but on the court he puts in work. And Dwayne Wade, he's been shaky these past couple years, but he can do his thing too. So I have Miami moving on past Brooklyn to the conference finals. Now, Indiana versus New York. To me, this can be a toss-up, because I believe if Indiana can play decent perimeter defense, then they'll be all right, because they have Roy Hibbert and David West down low. So on the defensive side, they're good. It's mainly on the offensive side, which I worry about Indiana. New York, on the other end, you know how their defense is. And Melo, man, this dude, sometimes he just seems unstoppable. Like, his offensive game is just out of this world. But I'm going to tell you why I can't get down with the Knicks, though. I have a lot of Knicks fans on my Twitter. I follow a bunch of them. And one minute they love J.R. Smith, one minute they hate him. And Knicks as a whole, they're kind of inconsistent when it comes to shooting. But I always try to find a positive in things. You know, benefit of the doubt. Let's just say they come out shooting average. You know, not super good, but not super bad like they do sometimes. And I just think that, I don't even know, man. This is still a toss-up to me. Tell the truth, I want to see New York move on versus the Heat in the conference finals, so I'm going to be a little bit biased. At least I'm admit to when I'm being biased. I'm going to be a little bit biased and let New York slide by Indiana to get to the conference finals versus the Heat, simply because I kind of want to see this. Now, talking about the conference finals, we have Heat versus Knicks. And when you look at the regular season, I believe the Knicks won that regular season matchup, or the regular season series. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from memory, that's what I'm getting. So I'm still a person that always believes that regular season and playoffs are way different. Teams play different, players play different, and the Heat are one of those teams. They play more aggressive, way more intense, and I think they will beat the Knicks, kind of overwhelm them. Not nothing crazy like 4-0 sweep. I'm not saying that, but I do think that the Heat will move on to the NBA Finals, but it will be an entertaining series if it does match up that way. So anyways, I do have the Heat in the finals. First, second rounds, my picks, am I confident? Kind of shaky, not really sure. Just let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow me on Twitter, link is always in the description. I have the West up soon. Peace.